Okay, welcome to TVC Live. Why
live being the
we
key
are, yeah, live
point
being
here.
a keyword. Yeah, that we having some technical difficulties, but nothing we can't survive. So I wish we could edit some of this out, but I don't.
But it's live, so we can't. That's okay.
Yeah, we're glad you're here. So
We can see them. So
yeah,
we'll get there.
let us know in the chat if you can hear us, and let us know where you are, and yeah, hopefully we're online and things are okay.
Tom and Ellie are calling in from the car because they are on the road.
Well, you know, our
drive
guests,
safely, please.
Our guests are in the car as well.
That's true. They are. So we had a good week this week.
We did.
We got
it was
out.
an amazing week. We got out. It is stunning country over here. It is amazing.
We're in Olathe, Colorado still. And right in the range. What is this range?
San Juan Mountain. San Juan Mountains.
And we found this really cool spot that we got to do some off-roading with our neighbors, the Ellises. Hello, Mark.
Yeah, hello,
and Whitney.
Yeah, so we went down County Road 9, which goes through
Ralph
Lauren's
double
17,000. Yeah,
17,000 acres. So somebody I know is smarter than us. Tell me 17,000 acres in terms of like a city or something. What would it be the size of? So because the ranch itself was huge. It went on and on forever. We were really surprised how long it took to get to the end of it and to get to the Forest Road. So anyway.
And if we get to this, good Lord willing, technology will hang out and we'll get to the trivia. If we get to that trivia, I just want you to remember that. Okay, just remember that.
Remember what?
Just
remember
it
that.
all.
Remember
it all.
Everything being said.
That's right.
This is the second time today I've been told to remember that.
So we got a lot going on this show as usual. So we've got an amazing couple coming on with us.
Yes, we're very excited to talk to them again.
They we saw them roll into Lake Gunnersville State Park in an amazing Airstream Motorcoach.
Yes,
and
which I had never seen before.
Yeah, so we went and introduced ourselves and told them we must get to know you. So we've forced them to come on tonight. Actually, they were very nice about it. So they're here tonight. Oh, Johnny Lightning says that's about 25 square miles. Okay, Johnny, tell me how that relates to, let's say, Dallas, Texas. How many square miles is the county of Dallas? Okay, so while you're noodling on that, we'll continue on. So,
and Johnny, by the way, you need to stay on. Everybody needs to stay on to the end for a surprise.
Oh, yeah,
a surprise appearance.
Surprise appearance, pre-recorded from a satellite phone because she is speaking at a conference and couldn't join us live. So a lot to get to. We've got an amazing guest, an amazing couple coming on. We've got trivia to play. We've got lots of renovation pictures to look at.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So we better bring them on. So I'm going to tell a story before you introduce them.
Okay.
I'm going to tell a story about this couple because this is how wonderful and sweet they are. So they came out to Lake Gunnersville and they met another young couple that are adorable and that we love, Tom and Ellie. And Tom and Ellie were in a very small, I don't know, what was that, a little camper.
Yeah, Toyota Sun Doohickey.
And so they decided they wanted to get a little bit bigger and they bought a old FEMA trailer.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a way to actually pull it.
And when you say old FEMA trailer, it was really
it was
nice.
Actually, it was nice. When I say old,
current,
I just FEMA and old just seem to go together in my head. So anyway, but they didn't have a way to actually go pick it up. They didn't have a truck or anything yet.
Oh, Sunraider.
Sunraider, thank you.
Yeah.
And so what did they do? They started talking to this couple we're going to introduce, Brittain and Josh. And Brittain and Josh, so sweet, so kind, said, hey, we'll take you down there in our Silverado. So they drove them down to Florida from Lake Gunnersville, and they all came back that same day. And by the way, in a hurricane. I mean, not a hurricane, a tornado.
Yeah. Tornado-like weather.
Yes, tornado-like weather. They had to pull over at one point. So this is a really astonishing couple.
Yeah, pretty amazing couple.
Yes. So now you can officially introduce them so we can bring them on.
All right. So Josh and Brittain are a husband and wife duo behind outofnorm.al. Out of normal. Isn't that cute?
It's
very
adorable.
clever. So the two of them have been gallivanting around the country, going between an 87 Airstream Motorcoach and an 88 Airstream travel trailer for the past 3.5 years.
Born then.
No. Probably not. And gallivanting. I would like to
Gallivanting,
gallivant
yeah.
sometime.
We do
Let's go
gallivant.
gallivant.
We do.
Gallivant?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Next time, let me know when we're gallivanting. So they seek out small towns, BLM lands, and they're looking for their next vintage camper that they can renovate for their Airbnb.
Just keep an eye out for shiny objects.
That's right, shiny objects. So this is great. They were inspired for the life on the road by going on a date to an RV RV show.
How do you think that would have gone for you?
It would not have gone well. So their hometown in Kansas City, their jobs, which we'll talk a little bit about, require 100% travel. Mm-hmm. So this is like a natural fit for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So what I would like everyone to do is put your hands together and give a big, beautiful, warm welcome to Brittain and Josh.
Yay!
Hey, how are you?
You're there! Yay!
Hey.
Glad to be here. Oh yeah, Walter's here with us.
Oh, there's Walter! Yay!
Walter! Yay!
Walter the famous cat.
Hi, Walter.
And for the record, we're both 2 or 3 years older than both of our Airstream.
Oh,
just
so
great.
That makes it feel a little bit better.
That's right. That's right.
One day we'll get a coach that's older than us. We haven't done that yet.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. Great seeing you guys. Where are you right now?
We are halfway between Mancos, Colorado, and Durango, Colorado.
Okay.
So really not very far from us. Yeah.
Southwest part of the state, just a few hours from you guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
and you're inside of a truck right now because you were in search of better Wi-Fi. And
the perennial search for RVers, right?
That's right.
Always looking for better Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and to pour salt in the wound, the place we stay, we're camped out right now, we've been before, and the Wi-Fi was great. No problem at all.
Of course.
And this time it's not anywhere near good, and so we had to go hunting all over the place.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. We might have to go hunting ourselves.
We're hoping not.
Yeah,
so everybody keep their fingers crossed.
Keep your fingers crossed our Wi-Fi stays.
Up. It looks like Mommy's on, Brittain.
Oh.
And Susie and Mila and Max.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. And the Dogginess calls you basically human angels. So there you go. That was the couple that they helped out. So you guys have been on the RV road for 3.5 years now, right?
3.5 years.
Yeah.
And tell us.
And so go ahead.
I was gonna say, tell us how that happened.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm thinking. Okay, so y'all already mentioned the RV show that we went to in Kansas City. So that was really where it began, and we had honestly just stumbled on that. Now her dad is a mobile veterinarian, so she grew up around mobile campers and things like that. But I wouldn't say that camping was like a huge part of either of our families, and so it wasn't necessarily something that was on our radar. But as we were walking around this RV show, we ran into one of those Winnebago Braves, the kind of vintage-looking new campers.
Yeah.
And it was that Winnebago Brave that got us excited about the idea of vintage and vintage campers. And that got us talking about maybe just taking our first year, kind of a year-long honeymoon on the road. Our work was on the road, so why not do that? And that was really where it all began, and planned on that year-long honeymoon. And here we are 3.5 years later because we just fell in love with the lifestyle and the people and everything there.
Go ahead.
I'm sure as many people listening and so many RVers out there, a lot of people say, I'm going to go do this for 6 months or 1 year. And 3 years, 5 years, 10 years later, they're still doing it.
Right.
So most people tend to put a stop on that deadline after 1 year.
Yeah, well, that's exactly the conversation we had. We were like, okay, 2 years, we're going to do this. We're going to get it out of my system.
We're going to be honest. He said 2 to 5 years. And I said, we're going to start with 1 to 2 years first.
Right. But it said there's so much to see.
But
it's
really,
you just gotta stop putting deadlines on it and just go do what you can do.
That's right. And y'all, so you got married. We're going to show a wonderful picture from your wedding, because adorable. You had your Airstream actually at the wedding. Yeah. And
so you can't see this right now, but we have a picture of you and you two in front of in front of Lucy, in front of Airstream. And then the next one we're going to pop up there is you two holding the honeymoon license plate. Is that an actual license plate, or did that just...
Yes and no. That's a paper copy because it took them a long time to get us our actual one, but yes, the actually it's in the tailgate.
It's on the
it's
truck.
in the bed here.
Oh, nice.
It's a real license plate, honeymoon.
So
That's
y'all
awesome.
got married with the RV there, so you can show your guests what you were about to go do.
Your new
but
home.
then you took a few months to get her ready to go on the road, right? And then you went off for your honeymoon that's now lasted 3.5 years. So first of all, congratulations that after what sounded like a little rocky of a start in Sturgis, that y'all are still married. That's good. and through 2 renovations.
Yeah. Incredible.
Y'all are incredible.
Doing a lot. And just, to give you a picture of that Sturgis trip. So we made it in our first trip trying to head to Sturgis. We might have made it 100 yards before our receiver hitch bent when we tried to make a turn. So we had to wait 24 hours, get that all fixed up. Along the way, we didn't have a generator. We thought our truck would charge the camper. Of course, it didn't. And so we ran out of power in 3 days. I about got black water in my face. Just a complete comedy of errors on our first trip to give you a picture on how rough that got.
Yeah.
But we made it.
But you did. You made it.
It's a wonder
yes.
you kept going.
So tell us why Airstream? Why did y'all pick? Because y'all have 2 Airstreams, which we'll get to later. But why Airstream?
Josh says we're aluminum snobs. But I mean, really what it is vintage. We just love vintage. Barry, I messaged a little bit earlier. We stumbled upon a 1978 26-foot GMC 260 yesterday just by accident at a mechanic. And it's original green plaid, original green shag carpet.
Wow.
If we bought it, I wouldn't change a thing. Like, we just love 50s, 60s, 70s. But the reason we didn't go with like a Winnebago Brave vintage is because we decided ultimately that we wanted to have a tow vehicle. We went back and forth. Do we tow a vehicle behind the RV, or do we want a truck that we can just take out and go, do our errands and adventuring? So we decided to go that route. And then once, chassis are too small for full-time life, at least for us. So I think it just kind of made sense. But we absolutely love Airstreams, and they are built so well.
Yeah.
They're huge, just big cheerleaders for the brand, and we love them. And we tell everyone to if anyone's thinking about an Airstream, we wouldn't for 100% do it. We would tell you.
And we
Go ahead.
We didn't know this at the time, but a thing that we've fallen in love with Airstreams is there's an entire culture and community around them. For example, there are some Airstream only parks. They're not really exclusive, but it's just kind of fun to get with fellow Airstreamers. There are Airstream clubs all over the place that get together and meet. And that's a really fun part of it that we discovered only when we got on the road, but it's definitely kept us hooked on Airstream.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what keeps you on the road. So how do you stay on the road, I guess really is the question. I mean, how do you make your living? People always want to know what people do on the road.
Absolutely.
So we have a few main things we do. When we talk about our work being 100% travel, we do a lot of event-based work. So we primarily work with Chevrolet. That's one of our bigger contracts. We go around to NASCAR races, state fairs, any rodeos, any big event where there'd be a lot of big car, truck people around, and we're product specialists. So we know Chevy's vehicles very well. They're not actually sold anywhere we go. It's just creating an experience for fans, helping them get their questions answered. But we love it. Our truck's a Chevy. We love it. It's an older Chevy and it's held up great. And so we really, can be ambassadors for the brand from that standpoint. So Chevy's our main thing, but we'll work some sideline events along that. Outside of that, the other pieces of our work are we run a couple of Airbnbs. And up until recently, we actually ran our bumper pole Airstream as an Airbnb tiny home, which I know we'll dig into here in a little bit. And then I do some contract writing. As you can imagine, events and Airbnbs and hotel work is pretty well ground to a halt for now, but we're hoping it's going to pick back up soon. But that's the main part of the world.
Got it.
Cool. Yeah, the whole product specialist thing really became obvious when I didn't know this when we did our video walkthrough. And then when the camera went on, suddenly Britt and Josh just went into, well, let me tell you a little bit about this vehicle. This has got a 345 under the hood, and it was awesome.
So we should have done Chevy trivia instead of Airstream trivia, but that's okay.
Better at that.
Then you might do really well, right? So let's start talking about Lucy. So tell everybody who Lucy is and how you got her.
Lucy Bug is our first home. She is a 1988 32-foot Airstream Excella. travel trailer. And, we searched all over the country looking for her on eBay, on Craigslist. I think this was before Facebook Marketplace was around, but, the Airstream forums, we looked all over the country, and it turns out that Lucy Bug was 15 miles from my parents' house, right there in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So we, I think we looked at 2 or 3 in person, kind of in that general area, but there was at that time, and this was 2015, 16, end of the year, beginning of the year, she was the best price and best condition, and she was right there in our hometown, so it was perfect.
Wow, that's worked out
Nice.
well.
That is nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to show some pictures, and because y'all have renovated, Lucy. And so we want folks to see what you've done with the renovation.
Yeah, so we're going to put up some pictures. You won't see them for a couple of seconds, but we'll describe to you what they are. First one's going to be a picture of you two, and it looks like work gear, pretty dirty, holding a sign, "We love Lucy."
How did Lucy get her name?
Let's see. So Dad loves the movie. Hi, Dad loves the movie, The Long Wing Trailer, the I Love Lucy movie, The Long Wing Trailer. We watched that before our big debut to Sturgis as a family, so he encouraged us to name her Lucy. And then, as you'll see in probably some of those photos, her big black windshield window covers, they look like bug eyes to me. So
very nice.
Are you going to talk about this later, the RV park that it's currently in?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, after we talk about the renovation.
Okay, cool. So then I've got some pictures of the outside that you sent over, and she looks pretty dirty and maybe a little banged up.
So when Airstreams are banged up, how do you have to, is it like a car, you pop out the metal? How does that work?
It can be a really complicated process. It depends on the dent. So one thing, so when we bought Lucy, she had in the back kind of rear corner, she had a dent, which you will see fairly regularly on Airstreams. It happens when they backed it into a tree. Use something like that. Usually a tree is the most common culprit. But I would say if you're dealing with the very professional restorers, they're always going to want to take that entire panel off and replace it. There are folks out there that can try to pop the dent like in a car, but if it's too big or if it's gotten into the kind of the underlying structure, sometimes you are going to be dealing with, you're going to have to take that whole panel piece off and put it new, or take the piece off and really work with it to get the dent out.
And one of the pictures shows the start of the polishing process, I guess. Okay. Tell us about that and how long did that take?
Yeah. So do you want to take this?
Oh, wow. You can go ahead.
Okay. So
she's tired just thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's something to definitely be aware of with a vintage Airstream. I've heard, I've not totally confirmed it, but I've heard that even going back all the way to when they began, there wasn't an Airstream that came off the line that was shiny like the ones you see down the road. That's almost always an aftermarket thing. And especially as you start getting into the 80s and 90s, Airstream started putting this clear coat on it, which they still do to this day, to my knowledge. After time, though, when the sun hits that, it'll start to flake off. And so that's what Lucy was doing when we got her. So we knew right away that was something we wanted to fix. But it still took us several years to find the right people. Well, find the right people, have the time, money, all of that, to come together. But that's a long process. I mean, in our case, we had a guy we worked with. It took, over the course of around a month and a half total. He has to strip all the clear coat off.
5 or 6 layers of clear coat come off.
Yeah, it's a big, long, dirty job. There are a lot of companies, not a lot, but there are a number of companies around the country now that specialize in it. And if you had one of those that really was going to put the pedal to the metal, you could probably get it done in 2 to 3 weeks. But you're going to be talking for a 30-foot trailer, $4,000 to $6,000 at least.
Wow.
Polished in that way. When we were able to hire somebody, we saved a bit, but then we had to kind of work with his timing and that kind of thing.
That's amazing.
Wow. Okay.
That's amazing.
So now we're going to go. Oh no, we're going to see the outside.
Yeah. No, I had a
shiny
question. Yeah, I had a question about the air conditioner cover, and what in the world are you holding here, Brittain? It looks like a big
hair
nest or something. Yeah.
Like a big piece of
it's the
mangled hay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a bird's nest that we pulled out of the air conditioner.
Oh wow.
On accident. We didn't even know that there was anything up there, and we took the cover off to spray paint it. And we're like, what's this? And we're like, oh, it's probably not good. Probably, well, you know, if we take this out, it'll help our circulation a little bit. So I think we're really lucky that nothing bad happened. But that might be a 30-year-old bird's nest. I don't know. Over time.
The birds.
That
the
was a
birds are
big
not there.
bird's nest. So I hope,
That was
I hope that big bird did not come
was
looking for
going cold that whole time.
All right. So let's see. We're going to go to the after
outside.
pictures
Yeah,
of outside.
after it got shined up.
Just
beautiful.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work I can tell into that. And then I can see where you said the windows look a little bit like bug eyes, the big wraparounds. Which that's a pretty because that's in your new one as well, your current one. That those what do you call them? Wraparound windows. That must be a very Airstream thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I've seen quite a few that do that, and it's just really a cool feature.
Yeah, we love it. And then of course in the motorhome, that's in the back, which is really cool to back your bedroom up with the wraparound window. It gives it an extra flair. And I think they design a lot of Airstreams now that have the wraparound with the bed, even at that part too. So.
Yeah, I think that's nice to be able to lay in bed and get to look out those beautiful windows, especially when you're boondocking. And good picture. Yeah. All right, so then we're gonna your door.
Yeah, the door with the saying on it. Just
Esther
really
from the
beautiful.
Bible. That's nice. And then we're gonna go inside and do the kitchen. So if you want to talk a little bit about what was in the kitchen when you got there, it looks like there was a
really
stove
weird.
and oven.
It's brown.
It's brown. How unusual for an RV.
Yeah, I know. Imagine that.
So one thing that we are really careful about, at least with the first two that we've done, and this may or may not be the case moving forward, we might eventually get crazy and gut something. But for now, we have both Airstreams we have found have been, as Josh likes to say, move-in ready, but move-in ready straight out of 87 and 88. So everything has been very good quality, and we like to keep the integrity. Airstream is such an incredible manufacturer, and they build things, especially back, I think pre-2000s, pre-90s, they really just built such great quality hard oak wood, very heavy. But so we like to keep the integrity. They're very creative with their space and how they organize things. So everything that you see in Lucy Bug is original fixtures with the exception of the bed. She did have 2 twin beds in the bedroom, separated by a little side table. And so Josh's dad built, hi Mark, Josh's dad helped us build a platform back there. But other than that, I mean, the stove, the oven, the refrigerator, the couch, the dining table, all of the cabinetry is all original. We just go in and give it some color, brighten it up, as all of the RVers out there are learning these.
Kitchen. Sorry, I'm just checking this. Sorry. Yeah. So we have a picture of the renovated kitchen. Oh my gosh, so beautiful with the detail on the blue. Now I know, Brittain, that you with Maxwell have a theme. So does Lucy have a theme?
So Lucy was inspired originally by a post on the Anthropology home website, and there was an Airstream similar year to us, an Airstream on there, and the artist had gone through and renovated and really given some nice touches to it. So ours was kind of inspired by that Anthropology Airstream, with some twists and tweaks in our own personality. So
we went we're buffering
a little bit, so just
hang out here for a minute. Let's see what's going on. Our Wi-Fi looks okay, but it just told me that it stopped for a minute. We are definitely hang tight, people. We'll come back, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of coming in Skype, kind of coming in, and now you're looking better, but you were kind of freezing and chopping.
Okay. Well, let's just keep talking.
All
okay.
Right.
So you're gonna have to type in on chat to see if people are getting not buffered now. I turned off my computer because I think it pulls on the Wi-Fi here. So we are looking at the kitchen, and I love how the color scheme, and so was that inspired by that Anthropology, or how did you come up with that color?
The color scheme was, a little bit of anthropology and a little bit just because we love color. I mean, look at his shirt. But definitely, we took the anthropology because if I'm not careful, my mind can go in 100 different ways, and I want to do too much. So I had to be very as focused as possible. So I kept referring to the anthropology post for inspiration and direction, and then just kind of gave it our own little twist.
And I basically just followed orders.
You? Oh, that's how come you're still married after 3.5 years. You learned. Okay, so we're showing now the before picture of the dining room, and I have to ask about the typewriter.
Oh, so since Lucy Bug was part of our wedding, that was my grandfather's typewriter, and he, for years, as long as I was alive, he would write family letters, and typewrite them and send them all out, Christmas, birthday, whatever the case. So that typewriter just has a really special place.
Oh, nice, very nice. Okay.
Nice. And so now we're showing that area. So the dining room and the kitchen all together with the beautiful wood floors, and really nice.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the bedroom now.
Bedroom before. Showing
so you were talking about
beds.
It has the twin beds there, and then we'll do the after. And I really like this. So you put in the bigger bed, but you added that shelf behind the bed. Is that right?
See, the bigger bed shelf. Yes. So trying to think of what picture you have, because we've had a couple.
There,
Yes. So we didn't have a headboard for a year and a half maybe, and it was like kicking curtains and pillows going into the curtains. And finally, when we put it up on Airbnb, it's like when people say they want to renovate their house and they live in it for 15 years and then they finally renovate it and then they sell it.
Yeah.
It's like ours finally went on Airbnb, so we had to make all these changes that we wanted to make, and a headboard was one of them. And so we did it for the guests.
Yeah, but isn't that funny? We did that same thing in our sticks and bricks. We changed it. We're like, why didn't we do this before we were going to sell it?
Oh, come on. Now everyone else gets to enjoy it.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's nice having that there now.
And one other thing I'll point out with that picture, we had the twin beds at first, and we had actually gone to a queen bed over that whole area, but it covered up the entire area. Like that nightstand you saw next to the bed was not there. It was all bed. And then that was, Britt had suggested this, and I didn't buy into it at first, but we did it anyway. And we actually went with a full bed, but that allowed a little bit of room in the front where you had that nightstand, but you can move around and change and things like that. And from a renovation standpoint, that little bit of space will make all the difference in the world. And we haven't been want for the extra space. The full bed's been perfect for us as compared to a queen. So just a thought for folks out there looking at renovating, it can give you a lot more space.
Yeah, we maybe added 15 square feet by doing that, if that, but in our bedroom, and that 15 square feet, it's like it's changed our world.
Oh, absolutely. Now, well, even just the my mom will appreciate this. Changing the bed and making the bed and to have that little bit of room to get around it is huge.
Oh.
All right, so next we have
thumbs up on the floor.
Yeah. So that was a water leak at our toilet, and it had gotten the floor so bad that I had to cut out a chunk of subfloor and put a new chunk of subfloor in. And so not a fun job. I think that was when I discovered the leak.
All right, we're going to show the bathroom after, and that worked out pretty well.
Looks like it's beautiful. So we're going to go from the bathroom. We're going to show the floor. So y'all put in, because this is a question that comes up. So y'all pulled up flooring. Is it the flooring you pulled up the dark wood and then you put in these planks?
Right. Yeah. So for Lucy Bug, it was the dark hardwood. And again, it just dark wood on dark wood on dark wood. It just was too much. And then for Maxwell, we pulled up the original, not quite shag, but 80s baby boy blue carpet. So we've done two floors now.
Nice.
Yeah, and the rest just hallway details. I love the knobs on the cabinets.
I think they say Mr. and Mrs. maybe.
Oh, do they? Okay. Oh.
And then the
maps on the wall.
Map. Is that a wallpaper or is that really a map that you put up on the wall, on the door?
That is a real map from AAA. So if you are a AAA member out, you go to offices across the country and get maps. So
And decorate your home. There you go.
Yeah,
Good deal.
There was one thing you talked about when you were renovating is better organization, and you were referring to a no hangers concept. So I'm showing now the closet before and during. There's Josh doing something inside the closet there, and setting up the
Putting in the
shelves.
alpha.
So, and then I'm going to show the after picture. So you set up alpha shelves in there, and so instead of hangers, you're putting everything on shelves.
we are, and I never thought I'd be one to live without shelves, but it's changed my world again.
Without hangers.
Without hangers,
Taught me that, what is it, the Marie
yeah. So the
Kondo?
KonMari method, and there's a whole nother conversation, but it's this Japanese method of kind of downsizing and minimalizing, but along with that comes folding clothes and how to do it so that they all kind of stand up on their own, and you can see everything at once. So for tiny spaces and small closets, it was really great for us to take this technique into folding and organizing our closet instead of having hangers that take up so much vertical space, and you don't know what's hanging or what's jammed in there. So it's been really great.
Do y'all? Okay, it went away.
Oh, went away.
We
Yeah,
were hearing
I'm
a
sure.
horrible sound,
Yeah.
so I was just making
Yeah.
sure. Okay, excellent. So yes, so that's, you're seeing that makes more room, is what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, and you can still see all clothes, and if you do it right, they stay wrinkle free or mostly wrinkle free. So you're good on
Excellent.
that.
Nice.
That's nice. I can't say as right now with my hangers, they're staying wrinkle free, so that's good to know. So Lucy, you got her all renovated, and then she became an Airbnb, correct?
She did.
Yeah, and that was, we had gotten Maxwell, which we'll talk about a little later, originally just specifically to Airbnb him as like a tiny home, essentially. A lot of Airbnbers are doing that, and we thought that was really cool, fit our lifestyle. Just took us a long time to get Maxwell done, and finally when we were in the middle of working on him, we looked at each other, we're like,
Lucy and the Airbnb.
Yes.
Yep.
okay, so we originally started Maxwell with our motorhome, was the one we were wanting to Airbnb, but it took us a long time to renovate him, and we were knee deep in it, and it was just not getting done, and we looked at each other and we're like, we really want to do this. We want to run an Airstream on Airbnb. Lucy's ready. Let's do it with Lucy. And so we started with a test model with Lucy in Kansas City, and that went really well, and then moved forward from there, running Lucy on Airbnb, and we just literally picked her up as she was finishing Airbnb for the season, because she's down in Tucson.
She's at
and it gets
this
hot.
amazing, again, vintage. It's fantastic. I think they originally opened in 1948, El Pais Motel and Campground in Tucson, Arizona. And it is a fantastic place, and it's not your typical campground where people pull in and pull out with their own campers. It's actually strictly for Airbnb. They've got a few tiny homes on site. They've got some vintage campers on site, and they have a 13-person motel room. The motel is not currently open to the public, but the campers are. So it just fit really well. They found us on Instagram, of all things.
Oh, wow.
And we went down last September. We flew down there, met them, and we knew within an hour of meeting the two owners, it's a mother-daughter team. We knew that we were hooked. We loved the place. We wanted to work with them. And so kind of the agreement is that Lucy is down there for their on season, which is roughly October through April. Because we're hitting triple digits in, granted it's dry heat, it's triple digits in Tucson, it's the off season. So it's the perfect time for us to take Lucy over and take her north for the summer. So it kind of works out well.
Awesome. So
Nice.
so you're going to be traveling in Lucy for a while Maxwell is elsewhere.
Yeah, and Maxwell is now back in storage near Nashville, which is where we originally got him. And he's getting there, but we have a few more things we're going to need to do on him over the next few months. And our mechanic can get into the storage unit and work on him.
Perfect.
So we don't need to be there for that part. It's things that we don't really need to be there for. So he'll do those over the next few months.
It's been interesting living on the road and meeting mechanics both for the truck and for both of our campers. We're starting to build kind of this, Rolodex of fantastic
people,
mechanics we would prefer people to. So it's nice that we can trust the guy in Nashville. He has a key. And we trust him, and he can just go work on it, and we don't have to be there, and it works out great.
Yeah.
Super. Well, speaking of Maxwell, let's introduce Maxwell. So Maxwell is tell me what he is exactly and what year?
1987 Airstream 345.
Yes.
Which,
Okay.
345 is 34.5 feet long.
Okay.
You were very
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna hope the Wi-Fi hangs
everyone-
out so we can do
everyone-
this
yeah,
video.
Everyone hold a good thought for Wi-Fi. We're going to do a quick
Yeah.
walkthrough of the Airstream, and then we'll be back on the other side.
Hey there, I'm Josh,
Hi, I'm Brittain.
and we're a couple of nomads and lovebirds who have been full-time on the road for 3.5 years. You want to tell them what we're in, what we full-time in?
So we are in a 1987 Airstream 345 Motorcoach.
Yeah.
And Josh is going to show you a little bit about it.
So a fun vintage rig. Let's first go to the cockpit. You've probably seen Airstreams running down the road, those silver bullet bumper pulls, but I bet you've probably never seen a motorhome like this. So got the drivetrain here. It's a Chevy chassis, which is, you know, really neat. For you gearheads out there, that's a GM 454, one of the most famous engines GM ever built. But anyway, you got your cockpit here, control center, a real comfortable ride, backup camera if you need it. You know, all kinds of things like that that are really fun as you're getting down the road. You can control a lot of things, you know, like a normal motorhome here, like locking the door and things like that, your lights, all that good stuff. But we have a lot of fun with it. Just a really unique piece in terms of being able to drive a silver bullet down the road. This is Walter, by the way. Anytime Walter sees a camera, he decides that he needs to make an appearance and be the star of the show. Let's check out another really cool retro piece of our Airstream Motorcoach. So built-in TV. Now, you know, of course, in the days of flat screen TVs and huge things and all that, this may not seem like much, but from a vintage standpoint, this was state-of-the-art in its day. Being able to have a little television with your VCR up here. We also went ahead and bought, at a thrift store, some classic VHS tapes to play in our vintage VHS player. So that's my side. Britt?
So everything in this Airstream, from the captain's chair to the couch, dining, cabinetry, even the refrigerator, the microwave, convection oven, and the oven is all original from 1987. We love our refrigerator. It says made in Sweden, so it's a very special piece, and they just made really great appliances back in the day. So we love that we have something that is all original here. Now, my favorite part of our home and my favorite room in the home is this desert-inspired bedroom. It's very cozy, very comfortable, and eventually, once we are done renovating, what you see here, this desert-inspired soft colors and earth tones, is going to make its way into the rest of the RV, and so this is just a wonderful place to return home to every night. All right, last but not least, and definitely one of the coolest parts of the originality of our Airstream here is this built-in blender. And actually, while I'm doing this, you might want to dig out that New Tone magazine down there, Josh.
Oh yeah, you got it.
So there are, I think, somewhere between 9 and 12 attachments that fit into this New Tone system right here, built into this cabinet. This is our blender. It came with the RV came with a blender and a knife sharpener. But I just put that in right there. Oh, I gotta make sure my switch is turned on up this way. And away I go. I've only used this thing 3 times. I discovered only 2 days ago it actually has speeds. So that was a high speed. There we go. Here's a low speed and a high speed. So definitely a very fun feature. And here we have
so it's not just a blender. You might think it's just a blender, but
right,
it's not.
Here we go. This is what this center is. It is a, you can buy appliances for a food processor, coffee grinder, the blender, a mixer, fruit juicer, ice crusher, knife sharpener, meat grinder, shredder, slicer for cheeses, and a can opener. So one day we will purchase the entire set and have the whole collection.
And that's
here.
not just for bragging rights, because in an RV, that's a huge space saver.
It isn't. That's right. So thank you for taking a tour of our home, and happy traveling. See you out on the road.
Johnny says we should be making margaritas in that blender.
Oh,
Yeah, we talked about that for RVE next year.
Absolutely.
why didn't we think of that when we were filming?
We should have done that.
I know.
For the movie,
Oh,
we
my
should have brought it
gosh.
along. Exactly.
We need Johnny. He's the idea guy.
Yeah, he is. And Johnny said he had some VHSs for
Yeah.
you. So I know when we took the tour, you said you really wanted to get back to the future. So
I've not succeeded at that yet, but we'll see.
Let us know, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny, let us know if you got it. We'll take that one.
We'll pay you for it.
so Maxwell is in the process of being renovated. Not quite there. So you said he's going to have some mechanical work done, and then y'all still have some other work you're going to do. I'm curious. So, like we said earlier, Lucy had her theme, and Maxwell has a desert theme. And why is that?
I will make this pretty quick, but it happened on a drive from San Diego to Joshua Tree, pulling Lucy, and I was in the driver's seat. And the way I tell the story is, either I was in the passenger seat. Thank you. Normally, I would either be sleeping or on my phone, and I wasn't doing either. I was actually looking out the window, and this little tiny, really shiny thing caught my eye over on the side access road, and I was like, and then I could see as we passed it, like a for sale sign in this window, and it was an Airstream, and I was like, I've never seen an Airstream like that. So I asked him to take the next exit. We turned around, pulled around. We had to park in a parking lot and then walk 10 minutes down this side access road to go see what I saw from the highway. Long story short, that was a different Airstream 345, but on that, and it was beautiful, polished, amazing, completely renovated. They were selling it for $38,000, which we did not have. But on the way back from that 10-minute walk back to that parking lot, I got on eBay. I'm not even kidding you. That 10-minute span, I got on eBay and I found Maxwell. And because we had the experience of buying Lucy in person in Kansas City and inspecting her and knowing what to look for, we actually bought Maxwell sight unseen within about 7 days. Now, the guy that we bought him from has fantastic reviews, and he's an Airstreamer himself. He does renovations, and so he sent us about 45 or 50 photos, underbody and all the electronics, and so all of that, if I would have been sleeping or on my phone, we would not have Maxwell. It's crazy how things happen.
So sometimes shiny object distraction is good.
Right. They're good. That's right.
In this case, it was. Yeah.
Excellent. I like that, and I like that's with the Joshua Tree connection. That's the desert theme. So that's lovely.
Sorry, there you go. That answers your question.
I
knew. We were tracking.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, that's wonderful. So, and how long do you think it'll be before Maxwell's completed?
Well, the goal now is to have him done and ready to be on Airbnb or close to it by August. He won't be polished quite then, but you can get him up on Airbnb without that. And in fact, I'd kind of like his Airbnb money to pay for his polishing.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's the goal. So.
Okay.
So then at that point, then you'll be traveling in Lucy and you'll start Airbnb-ing Maxwell.
Yeah, and we might travel again in Maxwell for a little bit, just to we were thinking about maybe getting him out west, but we'll kind of see how that all shakes down, and then kind of go from there, and then maybe there's a third camper somewhere down the road, and we'll have both Maxwell and Lucy rented out while we renovate the other
there
one.
you go. So one of the questions people ask is, how do you live in them and renovate them? Now y'all do it a little differently, but for the folks that are full timers, do you have any suggestions on how to renovate and live in it?
Yeah, well, I can start and chime in. I would say the one thing that we don't buy things that we're planning on gutting. So, like Britt was saying earlier, our Airstream, it was move-in ready when we bought it. It's just that it was move-in ready out of the 80s. So, we're dealing with the existing foundations, the appliances worked, things like that. So for us, that's important. It would be hard, I think, to live in something that was just, you really had to gut and redo. So there's that. But then the other piece that I think was important with Lucy was you don't have to do this, but we did a lot of the foundational work before we left Kansas City so that we weren't doing that on the road, the big paint jobs and things like that. You can do it on the road, but it's better if you can get some of that knocked out and then kind of, work on the rest of the stuff on them.
Okay. Makes sense.
Johnny wants to know if somebody does, when you have Maxwell on Airbnb, will people be able to drive him, or will he be stationary?
No, we're not at that point of being comfortable with people.
Yep, I can understand it completely.
Airstream.
So, are y'all ready?
I would say even with that, our model.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, just real quick. I was going to say our model is kind of latching onto that glamping experience and that tiny home movement on Airbnb. So our model really is for stationary units. Whether they're drivable or not. We're kind of wanting to create that environment in a set place and an experience for people to go to, rather than travel with.
And we have looked at buying camper vans, something a little bit smaller that's a little less intimidating to get around in. We certainly want to keep expanding our hospitality business, and so we have looked into camper vans that we would absolutely rent out on something like Outdoorsy for people to take around, but not the two that we have right now.
Yeah,
makes sense.
But you see yourselves getting a few more Airstreams, hopefully, and kind of starting a little cottage industry of Airbnb, right?
Yeah. As long as I keep doing good on Airbnb, we'll keep doing it. And that's a nice thing. We're just kind of building small, one piece at a time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And did Lucy do okay in the rental period of high season, even with COVID, or did you see it slow off?
No. With COVID, there was not a lot going on.
Yeah. So, are y'all ready to play a game?
Yes,
yeah,
let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So we're about out of time. I was about to start panicking.
Yes, I know. That's why I got to get to his game.
All right. So this is Airstream history, and you have to answer in the form of a question, like on Jeopardy. Okay.
Oh my gosh. No,
so yeah. All right. So the first one is the president.
For those in the chat, please play along.
Oh yeah. This president had a mobile Airstream office, which he used during his visit to White Sands, New Mexico, where the Army demonstrated its latest weaponry for the president and his staff. So you may be starting to see this come up on your screen soon. George Washington, or was it Lyndon B. Johnson, or was it JFK, or was it William Jefferson Clinton? Which president used an Airstream to go watch weapons being fired off?
So we have to ask it or answer in a question like, was it Lyndon B. Johnson?
Who is Lyndon Baines Johnson?
Oh, Lyndon Baines Johnson. And the answer is John F. Kennedy. Not too far off.
You didn't let the chat.
Not too far off. Oh, I didn't wait for the chat. Sorry. I think we're probably, I don't know how far behind we are in the chat.
Say that again, Josh.
Oh, what's that?
Say that what you said again.
We shouldn't
say. So we got to keep our mouth shut.
Yeah, y'all can guess. Barry shouldn't have jumped so fast. Y'all can guess. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in the chat, tell us if you're seeing the questions and the answer. Or, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Who is John F. Kennedy? John F. Kennedy, C. So,
okay.
So Larry got it right. Larry or Teresa, I'm not sure who. And Johnny got it right.
So the next one is, all right, so there's two answers, but this president's daughter toured America in a caravan of Airstream, America First campaign. Name both daughter and, for bonus points, the president. Was it Abraham Lincoln and Mary Jo Lincoln?
In an Airstream.
Airstreams have been around for a while.
Yeah.
George Bush and Jenna Bush. Lyndon B. Johnson and Linda Bird, William Jefferson Clinton and Chelsea Clinton. Let's see.
Who do y'all think it is? In the chat, any guesses?
All of that, and Ed said, "I really want to go to Connecticut. It's getting hot." And I said, "I hear you, brother. We didn't have AC because we were just mooch stocking, and I was getting hot working." Every day, all day. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So we decided let's just go to Connecticut. Ed drove up. I flew. Don't worry, guys. I'm being safe. I'm self-quarantining. I'm actually on the 3rd floor of my in-laws' house. We left the RV. Yeah, so we left the RV because we knew we wanted to come back. We're actually thinking of buying a house and flipping it in the fall. So, you know, stay tuned on that adventure, I guess. I don't know what we're going to do, but that's our thought right now. So we're staying at the in-laws' house, so it's not so hot here. I'm actually freezing. I have my sweater on. This sweater, guys, it says 1998. I actually got it in December of 1990. Or it says 99. I got it in December of 1998. This thing is old. And I'm wearing my sweatpants. I am freezing up here compared to hanging out in the RV in Florida. But as you can see, spoiler alert, I'm in an office, you guys. I have an office. I am super excited. I'm really sad. I cried when we left the RV. I love my little space. And we're actually, Chelsea, Ed, and I, we're still in a small space. But I have my own office, and I'm not going to lie, it feels amazing, incredible. I've got my NSYNC Funko dolls. If you don't know, I'm a huge NSYNC fan. I used to put some of them in old TVC Live episodes, if you ever caught on to that. Probably not. You probably don't like boy bands as much as me. Not a lot of people do. But yeah, let me just give you a little tour. So, you know, I've got to go buy a couple things for the office, but basically this is the attic in the house. Like there's a door to like the actual attic where all the crap is. But this was just an empty room that they sometimes used for guests. It's on the 3rd floor. It's so quiet. I can work without Chelsea, which feels great. And I can go downstairs, have a lunch. I feel like a real professional. I know I always say I'm only semi-pro. I feel like I might be making it to the professional level now with this office, guys. Yeah, so, you know, nothing fancy for right now. I literally just moved in Sunday and it's Tuesday. So there's the staircase down. Here I am. Super exciting stuff. I have drawers. I can put my planner. I can put my planner in a drawer. Oh my gosh, there you guys are. There you are. TVC Live recording. It's in my planner. You're in my planner. You're always in my thoughts, my heart. Miss you. Love you. So sorry I can't make it live tonight. Maybe, you know, in the next few weeks I can come back on live and just say hey. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up because I'm going to take a break. I need to buy an office chair. This old, you can see I have a pillow here and some other stuff. Anyway, love you, and I will catch you on the flip side.